Hey there, you're watching the Dave Does channel. I am Dave Does, and this is Dave Does Reacts. Today I'm going to be checking out a video from a band called Born of Osiris. A song is called Through the Shadows. Born of Osiris I have checked out. I'm saying I have in the question marks. I'm fairly certain I have checked them out historically, but have never been a band that I've really kind of spent more than doing the odd reaction to from here or there. So looking forward to checking this one out today. I won't be pausing the video, I will not be talking during the video, so I'll be playing the video from start to finish with no discussion, and we'll talk all about it at the end. Now with that in mind, that means obviously we won't be monetizing the video, so if you want to help me out, which is obviously greatly appreciated, the way you can do that is, well, I'm a songwriter and drummer for the bands Telescribe and Nothing Gained. Been doing this for over 30 years, which is one of the reasons why I talk about music videos and do these reactions. And you can check us out on either Spotify or YouTube. Just do a quick search Telescribe or a quick search Nothing Gained. Have a listen. If you like us, give us a follow up, give us a follow, and if you don't, absolutely fine, not a problem at all. Got no issues with that. Music is very, very objective, subjective. What's the difference? I'm not sure. And you should really look that up in a thesaurus somewhere. But yeah, give us a check out, and I'd greatly appreciate that. So, but remember, whatever I say about this video, it really doesn't matter. It's just one person's opinion. So as long as you enjoy it, that's the only thing that matters. Let's do this. Born of Osiris and Through Shadows.
Inside the darkness, guidance from above. Warpole lies around me, not gonna face this on my own. Look into the eyes of nothing, stare into the great unknown, waiting for the sound to silence. Let the echo take me home. Welcome to the end. Will you defend your existence? Will you defend your existence? Or face demise? Paralyzed break from the darkness, no remorse for the heartless souls. Feel the torment of creation of your own foolish lies.
Okay, there we go. Born of Osiris and Through Shadows. So I'm really conflicted in my viewpoints on this particular song, video, etc. So let me explain why. So let's get the video out of the way first of all. I think it's been very well done for use of an infinity room with the lighting effects, etc. So I've seen many of them. A lot of them get quite boring. This one was actually quite good in the sense of the types of cuts, the angles, the shots, and the clarity. Really good high definition shots there. So very good cameras they've been using in there from the video studio. So yeah, really good. Of course, with those sort of videos, there's not a huge amount of rewatch value for the actual video itself, but it works with the song. So if you were just listening to the song from that point of view, there'd be reason to go and check it out. But nowadays, with the streaming platforms, if you're just wanting to listen to the music, then you just use the streaming platform. But from a video point of view, first impression, really good. Now, this is something I've talked about over on the ADK Rock and Metal channel with Andy and Kirk many times. We've talked about the way music has evolved over the last 20 years or so with the use of, since bands like sort of Linkin Park coming through and the use of sort of triggers, samples as part of the scene. Nowadays with bands like Fall in Reverse, where a laptop is just seen as another instrumentation of the band. It's an essential part. It's not something that's just adding some additional element to the band. It's an integral part that effectively, if it's not there, the song just will not sound right. And I think in this particular case with Born of Osiris, it's exactly the same. So when you look at the setup of the band, 2 guitars, drums, vocals, if you were to take away all the stuff that's being basically played in the background with the synth work, at the lower end and stuff like that, there's some backing vocals there's some effect stuff that's going on. If you take all that out, you wouldn't be able to play that live. Just if it was just the four of those guys and went, right, we've got the guitars, we've got the drums, we've got the vocals, play, because your sample pads died on you, you just wouldn't be able to do it. Now, most bands nowadays have a main pad or a trigger pad, and they'll have a backup so that if that one goes down live, they can just swap them out and they're still covered, which is absolutely fine. And some of the intricate parts, some of the guitar tones, etc., sound great on the albums. And this is where I'm always kind of like, especially when we're songwriting for Telescribe at the moment, we start talking about, well, it'd be cool to have this layer of this in there, and we'll put this part in there. But then the main thing I don't want to do is I don't want to be, as the drummer, having sample tracks being played and lock into that. I just want to be able to play it live with the band and just feel a bit more of the vibe, rather than just having, here's a click track with a sample playing behind me and playing along with that going on. But some people are absolutely fine with it. So I try to work out what can we do with bass, 2 guitars, and it does limit us as a band, that we're limited to what we can perform within as a 5-piece with just what we have, unless we want to bring someone else in to do synths and stuff like that. But I do also appreciate the band thinking, well, we don't want to just give you a guitar-based song. We want to give you an atmospheric song. We want to fill it and give you the best possible bang for your buck. It's just, how does that transfer into the live? Because I was listening to some of those nice, almost delicate guitar type parts that they're doing, and I'm thinking, in a live environment, is that going to really cut through? Now, if you've seen this band live, you'll be able to tell me, and I'm sure you're going to tell me straight away, go, yeah, it absolutely cuts through. But I'd rather hear that from a person that's maybe not a fan, who's seen them. Maybe they were supporting another band that you liked. Because if you're a fan, you're always going to defend your band. But I genuinely want to hear it from someone from an outside point of view. When they're doing these intricate parts live, do they really cut through the clarity? Because I've got friends in a couple of bands that also do something similar to this, and it doesn't always cut through. I can guarantee it's when they hear these big heavy riffs, they cut through and it sounds immense. When they go to the more delicate stuff, it starts to get a little bit muddy, because it sounds great on the album, but when it cuts to a live, and this is another reason why a lot of guitarists will have effectively a recording tone and then they'll have a live tone. We know that. I think like James Hetfield, for instance, Metallica, he has a recording rig. And he has had a recording rig. Now, he may have changed that in recent years, but I know he had what was his live sound, and then he had his album sound. Now, they were close to each other, but he tweaked certain things because he knew that he needed to do something slightly different live because it wouldn't cut through in certain ways, because obviously you got these live cymbals coming through, you can't compress things the same way. So he had to change things up, and that's something I always get worried about with this band. And this is why I'm conflicted, because I'm really impressed by they think about the song as a whole. They've done this piece of work which serves the song, but then I think about it from a live point of view, and do you think does this really come across live? And the only way I'm going to ever know that is by seeing them live. So I will try to, when they come to an area that I'm near, I'm definitely going to try and check these guys out just to kind of get an idea on it. Would they be kind of progressive metalcore, I would guess, because you've got these big single metal choruses. I did feel like when we got to the 3-minute mark, we were going into this mid section, and I felt like the song could have easily finished at 3 minutes. Now obviously there were some nice intricate parts. We had this dual solo where the guys back and forth, and I thought the solo work was phenomenal, really good. Really enjoyed the solo on this particular track, so I should really say that. Drumming very tight. I know it's not, but it sounds almost like drum triggers, and triggers are not a dirty word, just to say that. It's just to get that clarity. A lot of people will have triggers just so you can get these impacts really crisp, rather than it being a bit fluffy, and it just means you get the clarity coming out through the front of the house PA versus the tone of the drum. So we've played with many bands that have used triggers. I personally don't like the sound of a trigger. I don't like the clickiness of it. I prefer a much warmer bass tone for my bass drum. But I know there are drummers who love it, and I've played on some other people's drum kits on shows and stuff where they've got triggers on them, and I hated the performance because I've got my in-ears running and I'm getting these triggery things coming through my ears, and I'm like, oh, this just sounds awful, because triggered drums on our sound doesn't work. It doesn't sound great. So we had to ask, I mean, it was only sound checks, we got them to turn the triggers off for us. We were like, yeah, can you just not put triggers on our drums when we're playing? Please, let's not have that clicky tone. But when you're doing more, when you don't want that boominess, when you want that clarity, because you're trying to work within the frequencies of different guitar instrumentation. So if your guitars are in a certain frequency, especially if you're low tuning your guitars and you want the drums, Fear Factory is a very good example of that. So you want the clickiness to come through, because otherwise if it's too boomy, it's just going to get muffled with the bass and the guitar tone. So you want that clickiness. In our case, we don't go that low on the tuning, so I actually want the low end of the kick drum to work with the bass, because we're usually playing in something that we might be just playing in D most of the time. We don't, although we are 7-string, we don't use a lot of 7 strings. But when I do Nothing Gained, which is 7-string, and we're playing in A, sometimes drop A, when we're in that sort of area, then yes, I'd probably want a bit more of a clickier sound, so I'll switch to different pads or different beaters to try and get that sort of tone. Yeah, it was a good song. I enjoyed it. Born of Osiris. So yeah, a long-winded way of saying I enjoyed the song. It was a song itself. Concerned about live, but you can tell me about that in the comments down below. There we go, Born of Osiris and Through Shadows. Now, if you enjoyed today's video, please do like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the video sometime very soon. Take care.